Okay, in this video I'm going to be going over Chapter 1 in Steve Krug's book, Don't Make Me Think Revisited, A Common Sense Approach to Web Usability. When people ask web designer Steve Krug what's the most important thing to think about when designing a website, he doesn't tell them things like nothing important should ever be more than 2 clicks away, or speak the user's language, or be consistent. Instead, he tells them, don't make me think. It's basically his one cardinal rule of web design and usability. In other words, when anyone, and this is even for like my roommate Marv, pictured here, has problems, and he also has problems sending email, but he should be able to open up a website and instantly understand what it's about and the message he's supposed to be getting from it. An example is this Outback website. When I open this up, instantly I know that it's about a restaurant. It's about food. I see food there, the big image of the steak and cheesecake and potato and salad and everything else. Plus, it also has the big text of 4 courses starting at $14.99. So, I mean, I know it's about food. It's easy to understand. I know where to start and I know where to go. But if I were to go to philzone.com, which is a site about the basis for, or that basically covers the basis for the Grateful Dead, but if anyone was to come here, they wouldn't have a clue really what it was about, mainly because there aren't a whole lot of images in here, and also the website is very busy. So basically I wouldn't have no clue where to start, where to go. I mean, it's just full of all kinds of links and images, and it's rather confusing. So, what makes us think? Couple things that makes us think is cute and clever names, where we don't know exactly what button or what a link is trying to tell us, or links or buttons that are obviously not obviously clickable. An example is when I go to another band, String Cheese Incident, but I found it rather confusing with this one that they have a tour tab and they have live cheese, which live music, but in other words, it can be confusing, you know, if you're thinking, okay, I want to see them live, or what are the tour dates, and maybe that they're one and the same, rather than if I was to go to the Metallica page. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a big fan, but their page is pretty simple and self-explanatory. You know, they got tabs like Home, News, Tour, Music, Media, Band, Met Club, which I believe is Fan Club, and Store. Login, sign up, and then you got your social media buttons and whatnot down here. I mean, everything's very, very self-explanatory. The other things that makes us think is links or buttons that are not obviously clickable. And with this one, I'll go back. A good example is the String Cheese Incident, where they've got, this is actually rotating images and stuff like that, but on each one of these it's got the read more button. You know instantly to go over there and to click on it. Whereas if I go back to this one, I mean, yeah, you have your tabs up here and stuff like that, but what I found is that there is, if I go to Phil and Friends, nothing's clickable. And if I go to basically any heading, discuss, interact, or whatever, but if I were to go over to this further one, when I'm actually on the website, that's a link. So, but we don't know that it's a link because it's just kind of blends in with all the other headings for the different sections. Another example that he brings up in the book is like when you're booking a flight, and I can see where this can get confusing, especially for cities like New York that has 3 different airports. Where I pull up Kayak and it gives you the city spelled out, but a lot of people don't know what LGA is. For those of us that do know, it's LaGuardia, but if I go over to the Priceline site, it spells the whole thing out: New York City, New York, LaGuardia Airport. Same thing for JFK, same thing for Newark. So it's good with stuff like this to be explanatory and explain exactly what it is, what airport it is, stuff like that, because a lot of people don't understand initials or any type of thing like that. One thing he goes over here is that obviously for the most part we've been talking that websites should be self-evident. You should know exactly what the website is when you open it up. But there are some more complicated websites where they can't be totally self-evident, so they at least have to be self-explanatory. In other words, they need to be able to explain what they're about with a short amount of text. And one that I found that works really good for this idea is the Omeka site, which is a site that's basically for digital collections and curation. But most people, if they happen on this site, won't know what it's about. So instantly you got your top line on there: your online exhibit is one click away. Let Omeka.net host your collections, research, exhibits, and digital projects. So instantly you know that it has something to do with digital, it has something to do with collections, whether it be images or documents or whatever, but some kind of thing that you can put online and there's a collection of it. If you want to go further in it, there's obviously the About tab, but it also offers a little tutorial to tell more about what it's about, which is kind of a neat thing you can do on the home page. Okay, so basically why then? And a lot of people think that the reason why is because of competition, and that, well, if you don't show your site off well, they'll go to the next page. And maybe this is true a little bit, but the biggest thing is the usability of it. Because let's face it, people scan pages and they go through the internet fast. So in order for a website to be effective, it has to get its message across at a glance and communicate the message to the user of why you should stay with this website. And that pretty much sums up chapter 1 in Steve Krug's Don't Make Me Think Revisited.